any sort of message I highlight will be wrong. This painting's actually dedicated to my buddy Jimmy. Jimmy had this idea about really highlighting the upcoming election. He actually brought it up in conversation a few times and is dedicating this idea. It's not exactly what he had envisioned, but I used his starting point to put some time and energy around an idea for these two. I don't know, man. I just feel like no matter what take I end up here with, there's going to be pushback, and I don't really care about that, but I wanted to try to go off the beaten path a little bit and not play into a specific hand at all, as best as I could. In the past, I've gone hard with certain messaging. In all honesty, I've always kind of targeted both sides. I always think it's best to, everyone gets a pie in the face. Everyone. That's what I think. If they were kids, how would you make them get along? Is there a secret? I've had this debate with my dad. I really think the secret is in humor. I think you can bridge a lot of things with humor. We'll see if I accomplish it. I don't know. This idea came out of left field. Remember Andy Warhol and Basquiat? There was like a poster of them boxing. I think it was like for an art exhibition, actually, like a promotional poster where they were in like boxing poses, and Jimmy imagined that it would be about the presidential election. I think with a lot of my ideas, most people would say, oh, you're living in a fantasy world. And I would say, yep, yes, that's a good place to be. I know there's so much vitriol and anger towards these people, and even from my own position, I can point out different things that I don't know if I would say despise, but maybe. So I had to even kind of let my own biases go with this piece. As much as it is political, it's also a bit of a thought experiment for me. I'm trying to detach how I feel about certain things and just stick to one primary goal, and it's just to illuminate the childish-like wonder in all of us. And that I'm curious to see which side is more agitated by something like this. and which side is more embracing overall. Like if I did a study of the comments I get. Let me try something different. Because all the work that you'll see and all the campaigns, the ads, the other artists, you'll see them really going for the jugular. And I just feel like that's so played out. I'm over it. I don't care anymore, really. So I think that I just wanted to expose what I really think, while being ridiculous. Let me explain the dramatic adjustments I've been making. I thought about it for a long time. I was contemplating all kinds of different ideas, a large majority of last night, and then I decided to sleep on it. And when I woke up, I was really close to adding those kids spelling blocks above it. I don't want to add too much messaging. These two iconic political figures converted into children dolls. Like, you know what I mean? Like childlike toys in a surreal way. I didn't want to add messaging. I didn't want to distract. I was going to add even just like subtleties, like, like maybe clouds or something to that. Like I was going in all kinds of different directions. And then when I was thinking about what would I spell on those wooden blocks, those child blocks, again, no matter what I put, it was going to be too leading. I don't want to lead anything. And I don't want to take away from them. I feel like they stand alone. And so that was my conclusion. But the way that the composition was laid out, the way that the painting was laid out, it didn't look finished because there was so much space above. I felt like if I left it like that, then it doesn't look finished. And one idea I had yesterday was to trim the canvas, trim the panel, make it fit, make it proportionate, make the composition finished. And so after deliberating and over what I could add, and I finally arrived at just make the canvas finished. So now these characters can stand alone and say what they need to say. That's why I took away. And it seemed pretty rash and aggressive, but it had to be done for this particular painting. Finished. I tried to be as unbiased as possible. That wasn't necessarily challenging because I think a big part of me has kind of given up, and these two characters, these public figures, have become really low-hanging fruit. And I've been painting Donald Trump for a long time and could care less about painting Biden, and so I thought I wanted to come in with this like as down the middle as possible, and at the same time put them in a totally different light. Give them these adorable characteristics. I want to make them even as far as their levels of cuteness. Portray them as innocent as possible. I'm taking a time machine, going back in time, getting both these characters, putting them in the same room in some sort of alternate universe. And so my objective was to go against the grain and not just warp them and make them and mock them. I just wanted to highlight their innocence. And as I say that, I don't know why. I could go back easily and just destroy these characters and put them through the meat grinder and more, do things that are even malicious and distasteful. I tried my best to build a bridge, to offer an olive branch. What happens now?